Good Saturday night. I'm meteorologist Byron Douglas. Welcome to August. Hope everyone's enjoying their weekend. And I'll say, I don't want to say good morning because I work sunrise so much of the time, but hope everyone's having a great Saturday night. I'll shout out a few folks in a moment. Let's run down our temperatures. I believe we had a warmer start to meteorological spring back in March. We only had a high of 79 today, just missing the minimum high of 77 back in 1932. 99 was a sweltering summer back in 2012. A lot of us will remember that. And then 57 in 1965. There was only 5 days 90 or greater in 1965. And we came off that low of 72. We had 33 hundredths in the rain gauge. A lot of that was in the pre-dawn hours. Maybe you got up 1, 2, 3, 4 in the morning. We had some active thunderstorms, but no widespread severe weather. Well, let's take a look at this. We'll go back to 1932, August 1st, a minimum high of only 77. We hit 79 today. We're only looking at 78 tomorrow, so we'd be close to a minimum high record. The next day in 1932, it ripped all the way to 95, matching the high temperature of August 1932. It was a 95 on the 6th. Do you guys know who won the World Series that year? Well, the Yankees beat the Cubs in 1932. And the Yankees are playing the Cubs right now. Kind of an interesting factoid. So I put a little baseball icon in there. By the way, the severe weather threats have been pushed to the east. We talked about this at 6. It had Tell City, Perry, Hancock, and Ohio counties in a general risk, but that now has been shifted to the east of the viewing area. We can see a few gusty thunderstorms on Sunday, but we're not looking at severe weather threats. This is the first Saturday I've worked since Michael Fecka has left that has not been an alert day. So pretty encouraging to have some pretty quiet weather. The tornado threats out through Cincinnati, that's where the warnings have been. There were some warnings earlier. Radar indicated tornado warnings up through Indianapolis, but no widespread severe weather has been reported. As we take a look at our Sunday, I'm just going to grab this full for a moment. A general risk for a few gusty thunderstorms, but generally pretty much like today. We'll have these spotty showers as we go through our Sunday, but it's not going to be a washout. We're not risk for any flooding or anything like that. Cheyenne, Suzanne, thanks. Jeanette for tuning in. Jeff, 4 tenths in Sava out there near the community center in western Posey County. 4 tenths. We had 33 hundredths there at the airport. Yeah. Good to share those rain reports. William, 3800s by Bossy Field. All right, yeah, it's kind of a Michigan-like summer, no doubt. We've been well below normal, even though we've had some cloudy Saturdays, but we did have a couple looks at the sun today. So I like to do this, a little nowcasting here on Doppler radar. If you're up at Strassenfest, all the showers now have cleared. We'll make a stop here. And we're seeing a few light showers here at Evansville, so if you're up there and enjoying Strassenfest, this has got to be one of their coolest, 48 years, we'll have more coming up at 10. It's got to be one of their coolest Saturdays they've had at Strassenfest. North of Madisonville, Hanson, up towards Jewel City, Sacramento. Some returns there in Rockport, Kentucky, towards Graham and DePoy and some of those locations. And we'll widen it out just a bit. Generally, we've had no lightning here during the daylight hours, and I'm not anticipating any. We might have a few strikes for tomorrow. Let's widen it out. We have low pressure from generally up to Lafayette, Indianapolis, and another one along that front just off to the east of Louisville. And all the warnings have generally been kind of along Interstate 75, clear of our area. But this pesky area of low pressure, someone contacted me from Wayne County up in Jeff, Illinois, and said the clouds were all turning counterclockwise as that low. It was kind of interesting to look at. And here's just a wide view. And we'll take a closer look off to our east, which we can do here during our stream. Had a radar, well, they're going to be together for about 4 or 5 hours very early tomorrow, even after midnight. So there's a little fog there in the background, some fog until if you're out for the very early services tomorrow, you can, especially in some of those low spots, a little bit of fog. And then an isolated thunderstorm, kind of a 60% chance of rain. And then it's trending a little drier as we go to the afternoon. So a little peaks of sunshine during the afternoon. So it hasn't been the best pool weekend for you, but chance to garner a little bit of sunshine late Sunday. Let's see how it plays out. Enough energy to support a few spotty showers. This is early tomorrow. Winds generally will be out of the north, and that low kind of breaks down, and then in the afternoon, Some sun with some spotty showers. Any rain totals would be less than 1/4 of an inch, and then we kind of scour out the clouds on Sunday night. And then outside of some fog on Monday morning, it's going to be fairly bright. I cut things back to just an isolated, about a 20% chance of an afternoon thunderstorm. Not anticipating any severe weather during that time frame. And we're not risked for any severe weather on Monday or then into Tuesday. So the long ball, these are the 6 and 10 day outlooks from the Climate Prediction Center, has us guiding above normal temperature wise. But in the short term, we continue to be below normal. So if you're in those 2-a-days or the bands, football teams out practicing early next week, the heat index will generally be below 95, at least early in the week. And this takes us out as far as precipitation, 6 and 10 day outlooks. And then the 8 and 14 day outlooks are in. This is up through about mid-August. The trend is above average. You know, August is going to eventually do what it's going to do, and those temperatures will perk up. But out over the next 8 to 9 days, I don't see any extreme heat warnings or anything like that. And we get about 1.25 inches of rain per week. And then as we go out through mid-August, but the corn and soybeans are looking great, most areas. So let's take the 7-day. There are no alert days here on the board. I'll take that full so you can see that. I'm going to leave it up for a little bit. And we'll do some more tracking coming up here at 14 News at 10. So no major changes. But look at Sunday. That's going to be teetering close to a minimum high record. I mean, our average high is at 90. 85 Monday, it's going to be reasonable. Then 86 on Tuesday. So I kept temperatures kind of below 90. So in the short term, we're going to be underneath the average there. Okay, I appreciate you guys tuning in. Libby, hello up there in Princeton. And Nancy over there in Ellery, Illinois. Hope everyone's doing well. Donna, there, I'll let the 7-day stay up here for a few minutes. And again, I appreciate those rain reports. We had 3,300s out at the airport. So that was, and a lot of that came in during the pre-dawn hours. And for folks that just chimed in, I'm going to go back and we'll go back to Doppler radar because we do have some folks on. I'm pretty much caught up here at 10. We'll just take a look at these storm threats as we go into early next week. All in all, not going to be a major factor. We'll just take a look at these severe weather threats and we'll go back to Doppler radar. So the big change that came in, and this was anticipated, we talked about this at 6 o'clock, that the severe weather threats, and we didn't have today as an alert day, some gusty winds, some gusty thunderstorms, which we did have in the pre-dawn hours that Jeff was covering last night. It generally kind of along Interstate 75 where that front has set up in that area of low pressure that's up through Indianapolis and to the east and back there north of Atlanta. So we're not risk for any thunderstorms. And then on Sunday, we're in a general risk. And here's on Doppler radar, we've had no lightning here during the daylight hours. I'll just take this full and then I'll send you on your way. So there's the current time, and I'll have more coming up in 10. Look, you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you on 14 News Sunrise. Of course, the advent of the school year coming next week. Coming up Monday morning at 4:30 a.m. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll talk to you soon.